All right, welcome back to Al's Home Kitchen. Today we're going to tackle another of my favorite New York styles of pizza, Sicilian. Now, I grew up in upstate New York. I ate a lot of pizza as a kid. Sicilian was always one of my favorites. I've never seemed to be able to emulate it quite right in the home, so I'm going to attempt it today and see if we can get it just right. So, very simple ingredients for our dough: water, salt, yeast, sugar, and flour. That's all there is to it. So let's stick around and see how it's made. Be sure to subscribe and like so that I can continue to make videos like this for you in the future. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add our water. You want it to be warm. You don't want it to be boiling. You want it to probably be about 95 degrees. I mean, you can touch it with your finger. It feels warm. It's not burning. That's probably okay. We're going to pour that into the bowl, and we're going to add in our salt, our sugar, and our yeast. All right, so once we get that going, we're going to let that kind of just mix up a little bit until it starts foaming. Make sure the yeast gets all dissolved in there. Okay, now we're going to add our flour in, a little at a time, and kind of mix it as we go. This is a very wet dough. This is like 79% hydration, which is a lot higher hydration than what you would normally work with making a normal pizza. So it's going to be very sticky and wet. So now we just want to work that all in there and get everything all incorporated. You really just want to mix this until you can see that all the flour has kind of been incorporated. It's not going to be a perfect ball by any means. You just want to make sure everything's mixed together. Now once we get it to looking about like that, then we're going to cover it and we're going to let it sit for about 2 hours. All right. And now we wait. All right, so this is the truth in advertising part of the video. Originally, I had tried to do a homemade sauce cooked in a pan on a hot plate. It was the first time I've tried to film overhead on a hot plate, and I destroyed it and burned it and caused some smoke. So anyway, all I did was mix up some crushed tomatoes, some basil, oregano, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and a little bit of olive oil just to get us a sauce to use so we can finish on with the pizza project. So dough is about risen, so we'll go ahead and get this out of the way, and then we'll put the dough into the pan and show you how it goes from there. Okay, so this is the fun part. This is where we're going to put our dough into the pan. We're going to need a little bit of olive oil for this. First thing we want to do is just make sure that we get our pan completely coated with olive oil. I'm just going to use my hand, but you can use a paper towel or whatever you see fit. But you want to make sure that you get it covered everywhere. All right, now let's see how our dough did. Wow, it rose very nice. So now what we need to do is we need to kind of degas it, kind of pop it, and kind of fold it over onto itself to kind of get it into a little bit better form. So we're just going to fold it over, turn the bowl, fold it over again. Same thing until we get it all into a nice ball in the bowl here. Now we're going to go ahead and dump it into our pan. All right, now I'm using a 12 by 12 pan. You could use a pan that's slightly different. Anything too much bigger, then you would probably need to adjust the recipe. Put some olive oil on top, and then we're just gonna kind of just slowly, gently push it out and try to spread it to fit the pan. Now the first try, odds are you are not gonna make that happen. So just get it to spread as far as you can. Once it starts coming back at you, then we'll cover it and come back and try it again in about 10 minutes. Looks like that's about it for this round. Okay, so we've let it rest for about 10 minutes. We're going to give it another try, see if we can spread it out a little bit further. Again, we want to try to get it spread out to all the edges of the pan. It's getting a little bit easier now, you can see. Probably good enough right there. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna cover it and we're gonna let it sit for about an hour. Okay, now that we've let the final rise happen, you can see what we've got here. It's spread out even a little bit further to the edge of the pans. It's nice and puffed up. For toppings today, I'm gonna go with some pepperoni and some soppressata. You can use whatever toppings you want. I've got some sauce here we're gonna put on first, but before we do anything, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take our fingers and kind of just gently put some indentations into it. You don't want to push too hard all the way to the bottom or anything, just get some dimples in the dough. Okay, that should be good. And now we'll go ahead and put our sauce on. I'm not going to go super thick with the sauce. Some people like a lot of it. I'm not going to go overboard, but you do you. If you see these air bubbles pop up, just pop them. Okay, now that we've got the sauce on, we'll go ahead and put our cheese. I don't want to go too close to the edge. The cheese tends to burn if it gets on the pan. It'll still taste all right, but if you don't want to see the burnt edges, just keep the cheese just away from the edge of the pan. Okay, that should be pretty good. Now we'll go ahead and put our toppings on. I'm not going to go overboard on the toppings either. I want the pizza to be well balanced. So there you go. Now we're just going to go ahead and put this in the oven for 18 to 20 minutes. You see the top start to burn, that you'll know it's time to take it out. 18 to 20 minutes and we'll see what we get. And there we go. There's our end result coming out of the oven. See, the edges are nice and brown. We'll go ahead and take it out of the pan and see what it looks like. All right, and there it is out of the pan. I think I would cook it a few minutes less next time. The edges got a little bit crispier than I would have liked. Still looks delicious, and be sure to like and comment and subscribe to my channel for more tips.